Today, we're gonna make some yogurt in less than 1/2 hour. This is yogurt making for real people, not in some test kitchen. So this is what I have here. This is what you need. This Yogourmet freeze-dried yogurt starter. You can do it with yogurt as well, but that's harder, so I don't do it that way. The other thing is that I don't keep milk lying around, like gallons of it, so I always use powdered milk. After a lot of experimentation, I really like this Bob's Red Mill non-fat powdered milk. I feel like it's cheaper to use powdered milk, and you totally can't taste the difference at the end of the day. And I use this yogurt maker. It is the Euro-cuisine YM80. It has these little cups that you put in here. That's good news and the bad news. Sometimes it's nice to have little cups of yogurt, but the bad news is that if you want to mix things in there after you're done, it's kind of a pain. Let's get started. What I have done to expedite this process is I have taken a spaghetti jar, you know, that you get at Costco, and I have labeled it. So the first line here is 1.5 cups. You don't have to be super precise with the powdered milk, just approximately 1.5 cups. And then the other line I have is 42 ounces, because that's how much liquid you need to fill up all of these cups. And I'm missing one, which I will get in a moment. So let's do this thing. First thing that I do is fill up this container until the line. What I do then is I fill up the jug. So I'm looking at the line, and it's about, I like to do a little bit just in case you spill a little bit or whatever over, but close enough. Then you have the mixture right. I get a whisk. I'm gonna just whip everything together with this whisk. I used to put this in a blender and whip it together, but one time I took the top of the blender with the warm milk in it, and I put it in cold water, and the top of the blender broke in half, and now I don't have a blender, so I don't do that anymore. This glass has held up through probably 50 batches of yogurt. Works fine. I feel like also if you use powdered milk, you can make the milk mixture a little thicker so that the yogurt I make is really thick. Sometimes I know homemade yogurt can get a little runny. Not mine. Okay, so what I do is I take this and then I pour this milk mixture in. And then I have a need for speed most of the time when I'm making yogurt. I don't want to mess around. So I turn the heat up really high. I mean, I have an electric oven and it's at 9. Maybe I'll put it at 8.5 because I just kind of stir it. I keep a really close eye on it. I mean, if you turn it up really high like this, it will heat up in probably, it's gonna take 5 minutes. Word of caution, one time I thought I would be really clever and I heated up the water in this thing, in this Breville electric kettle, and then I put the powdered milk in boiling water, and everything seemed to be going fine, but I tried it 2 times that way, you know, mixing the powdered milk with boiling water, and both times, catastrophe, the yogurt came out just completely separated and all watery. So I don't know what the problem is with doing it that way, but chemically, it's a gigantic fail. So what you want to do is you heat this mixture up until it's 180 degrees. I have this meat thermometer here that my husband uses for barbecuing, and I have kind of commandeered it. So I keep whisking it around. What we want is for the temperature to be about 180 degrees on this meat thermometer. So as you can see, we're at 177. So you can see how it starts to froth. I'm gonna turn off this puppy. Then this is what I do. Try to keep a minimum of dishes because speed is important here. What I do is I take this hot mixture and I pour it back into this jug. You can see what I mean. I spilled it, so that's why I always make a little extra, because I spill a little bit every single time. Then what I do is I come over here to the sink. I should have washed this cutting board ahead of time. We're gonna fill this up with water, cold water, really, really cold water. And while that's filling up, I'm gonna put this in. We're like washing this pan at the same time that we're cooling down this yogurt. If you don't use a water bath to cool down the yogurt, it will take hours. So I get some ice. We get the meat thermometer again, and I have this little trick I do. I take this whisk and I put this in the middle, like that. Then I set the timer on the stove for 15 minutes. Because I used to set it for 20 minutes, but actually this makes this cool down really fast. You want the temperature to go down to about 100. They say on the package it's supposed to be between 108 and 114. I find that if you put the freeze-dried yogurt mixture in, when the water is too hot, the yogurt gets runny. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I have in my head. So I like to wait until the temperature is about 108, 109. And then I put the yogurt mixture in here. So we just need to wait. I'm setting the thermometer for 15 minutes. I used to not set the timer thinking that I would remember, but I blew it too many times. Oops. So you want this mixture to go down to 108 degrees. You know, it started at 180 and you want it to go down to 108. While we're waiting, I'm going to take this starter and just get it all ready. Get everything ready to go. I cut it in half. You have to keep this refrigerated. And then I follow the line. Follow directions. And I open it up, you know? So we're all ready to go, and the second that this gets down to the desired temperature, we're good to go. So I set this aside. Okay, so actually that took 10 minutes. So you might want to set your stove timer for about 10 minutes. And we're at 111 degrees. So I'm going to take it out of the ice bath, give it a little shake to make sure it's... Sometimes when you whisk it around, the temperature can change quite a bit. But we're at a perfect 109 degrees right now. So what I'm going to do, I know they say to mix this stuff in a little cup and whatever. I don't bother, and it hasn't made a difference. So I just put her in there, move it around. You want to mix it up real good though. Then take this over to our yogurt Euro-cuisine, and you will probably do a much better job than me filling these little guys up. I like to make sure there's foam on there. I like to get the foam on the top because it looks kind of cool actually when you go to use it, because it's got this foam on the top. I used to put cinnamon and like flavor in, but it always just floats to the bottom. So in my opinion, it's just as easy to stick cinnamon or, you know, fruit or whatever you want after the yogurt's done, not now. Then what you do is you just put the top on this puppy, you plug it in. I just want to point something out. Oh, we got one of these timers, and we set it for 5 hours. It's now 9 o'clock at night, so this is going to get done in the middle of the night. I used to worry about that. I don't worry about it anymore. It doesn't matter if the timer goes off at 2 o'clock in the morning and it sits until 8 or whenever you get up. The yogurt will be fine. One thing I will suggest though is that what you need to do is take tea towels and put the tea towels, I need another one. I think this makes a difference actually. And then I just leave it sit here for, you know, it'll cook for 5 hours. It's gonna get done at 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, and then it'll just kind of rest there until I get up, and then I'll just take these things out of the yogurt maker and stick them in the fridge, and it will be great. So it's the next morning, and we'll check the yogurt. As usual, it's pretty awesome. You can see the foam on the top. I think it gets kind of nice when it's a little foamy, and real thick, as you can see. So you just can take this out, and then you put these little lids on, and then you can stick it in the refrigerator. and you got yogurt for 7 days. If you want to add, see, this is the problem with this yogurt maker, that these things are little. Because if you want to add blueberries or fruit or cinnamon or whatever, you kind of got to either scoop this stuff out into a larger container and do it all at once, or deal with it a cup at a time. Happy yogurt making!